Welcome back to Naval Gazing at Camp David. This week's guest yacht is a brand that was launched in 1994 by Dufour Yachts Group, who later sold the brand in 2002 to Bruno Voisard. From 2004 to 2006, the company moved its production to La Rochelle, and in 2008, they moved production inland to Rochefort. In 2011, working with Marc Lombard, they launched the first of the current range. The company was purchased by Bavaria Yachts in 2014, who invested in the production facilities, and in 2018, the brand, along with Bavaria, who had run into financial difficulties, was purchased by Capital Management Partners, a private equity firm. We are, of course, talking about Nautitech and their 44 Open. Today, we are going to review its specifications, pricing, and layout against three similar new vessels, do a full tour, asking as always, what would Sylvia say? Naval gaze an innovation or two that might make live aboard a little bit easier, have a look at the used market for 3 to 5 year old comparables, and finally, give it a Dave score and compare that score to all the other yachts we've looked at. Starting from our high vantage point over Vancouver, British Columbia, we fly across the Atlantic and across the continent to the home of last week's yacht, the Catana Ocean Class 50 in Roussillon. From here, we bounce over to the Atlantic coast of France and the shipyards of Nautitech in Rochefort. For our wine pairing this week, we fly inland to the famous Château Lafite Rothschild PAUILLAC, where we discover Baron de Rothschild Les Légendes Art PAUILLAC 2017. A major appellation in Médoc, PAUILLAC benefits from an exceptional terroir characterized by gravelly hilltops on a clay subsoil, which ensures natural drainage and encourages the vines to develop deep roots. These are the perfect conditions for Cabernet Sauvignon. Légendes Art PAUILLAC is made from grapes grown in Domaine Barons de Rothschild Lafite, owns vineyards, and once again, the wines are made with the same attention to detail as for the Grand Vin. Produced from the property's younger vines, these are classic, good quality wines. Their structure is less concentrated than their prestigious elders, allowing them to age more quickly. And after just a few months in the bottle, they offer an original, unique style with the fullness and complexity for which the appellation is renowned. Oh, that's a fantastic nose on there. Now, I hardly know what I'm talking about. That's one you gotta try. Let's go have a look at that boat. Having a look at the vessel, you know, she's quite handsome. She's got those aft-mounted helms, a very attractive cockpit bimini shape, the reverse bows, great space for solar, nice front lounging area, and I do enjoy the new graphics. The large new windows are tremendous in the hull sides. Again, from the bow, good ventilation through the front windows, and the rear cockpit here, or the rear helm, as you can see, very comfortable. The profile is aggressive and purposeful. Looking at the new comparables. So, we're looking at Nautitech 44 Open, the Outremer 45, the Neil 47, and the Bali 4.6. You can see immediately that the Nautitech is tied with the Outremer 45 at 106 square meters of upwind sail area, second only to the Bali 4.6. Moving to the cabin tops, you can see, and again, I do apologize that I had only line drawings for one out of the four this time. But we have a nice mast down view on the Nautitech 44. You can see it's got a good beam to her. Width to the hulls, but not excessively. Obviously much broader than the Outremer 45. The Bali 4.6, of course, she's a bit of a hefty girl with significant width to her hulls. Going into the saloons, the Nautitech 44 Open has a pretty spacious saloon, all things considered. The 4.6, of course, similar to its cousin, the Ocean Class 50 from Catana, extends that cockpit and extends the saloon by swallowing the cockpit and creating massive open doors in the back. That aside, the Neil 47, quite significant, but again, you're fooled a little bit because the owner's cabin is on the main deck, so your saloon is shrunk significantly. Compared to the Outremer, the Nautitech 44 Open is comparable. Different layout, but quite comparable. Heading into the cabins, you really see the difference in the hull width, especially in the pontoons. The Nautitech 44 showing off its pedigree of performance. The brand, obviously more a boutique brand than the Bali or the Lagoon or Fountain Peugeot, and focused more on a performance, a balance of performance and comfort. Look at the hull width here compared to the Bali. There's a dramatic difference. The only other one you can really compare to, of course, is the Outremer, and it's a little wider, but not an awful lot wider. The Neil 47, of course, being a trimaran, the Amas are naturally very narrow. Moving into the actual specifications here, the Neil 47 is the most economical, although the Nautitech isn't too far behind. As far as leadership in this, there aren't a lot of categories that the Nautitech 44 actually leads in, other than the engines, which are a standard 50 horsepower. We've already talked about upwind sail area. As far as displacement goes, the Outremer is the lowest at 8.7 tons. The Nautitech, though, not too bad at 10.9 tons, just a little heavier than the Neil 47. And of course, our friend the Bali 46 is at 13.9, still not too bad. As far as tankage goes, the Nautitech is a little behind, 500 and 600 liters versus the Bali at 800 and 800. But again, it's a good second place compared to the other two. The actual hull material, again, the Outremer is the strongest with e-glass and carbon, and solid glass bottom with foam core. However, the Nautitech is e-glass, polyester, and a foam core. So nothing to sneeze at. At this point, I'd like to ask if you're enjoying the content, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video with a couple other folks who might be interested today. Thanks very much. Okay, jumping on board. What would Sylvia say? Here at the stern, you can see the aft-mounted helms and the rather unique biminis over each helm. Also, the looking at the nice indirect lighting in the cockpit bimini is and the zippers to accept a full surround enclosure. We're going to jump straight into the cabin, or sorry, the saloon. Looking around, you've got some very nice Corian countertops. The upholstery is very high quality. Got leather inserts on the stainless guardrails. A nice little nav station. I'm not a fan of nav stations in a place with as little square footage as this, and especially one that's got a stool instead of a real seat. Who's going to sit on a night watch on a stool? Ain't going to happen. So why bother? They do have the nice sort of bar area there. I guess you'd stand. It's for standing socialization, whatever, that leads into the kitchen. Ceiling, nice touches with indirect lighting, offset colors, nice Corian with a stainless steel fiddle. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a little different as far as the way it's laid out. I think they could have done a better job with the use of space in here. But the materials are high quality. The fit and finish feels very good. Moving to some navel gazing, I'd like to talk in general about how we deal with trash on board liveaboards. You know, we do generate a lot of trash. And if you are off grid for 2, 3, 4 weeks, as we'd all like to be, using the typical bags, number one takes up a lot of space. Where are you going to store it? Number two, there's a lot of smell. Number three, it's a fire hazard. And number four, how the heck do you get it all on shore in your little dinghy once you got to get to a place to dispose of it? So why don't we see more trash compactors on board liveaboard boats? You know, a trash compactor takes up about 15 inches of under counter space, and it reduces your trash volume by 75%. So as you can see here, one trash compactor queue will be the equivalent of 10 to 12 regular 25-gallon trash bags. So you get it compacted, you can store it better. While you're dealing with that trash, it also has a built-in deodorizer. Your storage space is reduced by 75%. Your shore transport is made so much easier. Fire hazard is reduced because once you compact stuff like that, it just doesn't ignite as easily. And your trash compactor, of course, in many of these cases is touchless. You just swing a foot around it like you do at the back of your Land Rover, and Bob's your uncle, it opens up and away you go. I think, you know, in a house, it doesn't make as much sense. But on a boat, it makes a huge amount of sense, especially if you're talking about a liveaboard. Okay, back to the cabin. Here we have the fridge and freezer. We're heading down downstairs. The bow suite here. A lot of nice rooftop ventilation, soft touch on either side, big windows, allowing a lot of great space. Your head is a very nice dry head. I mean, quality and materials and hardware, really top grade. Here's your shower enclosure, again separate from your actual head with its own sink. Look at the touches on the floor there. You got teak with inlaid stainless. It really looks nice. Moving to the aft compartment here, again, ceiling mounted ventilation, beautiful big side windows. Easy access up onto the bed. You can see the effect of the narrow hulls here. You don't have access up more than maybe a third or a quarter of the way up the actual bed itself. Now a little more navel gazing here. We're going to talk about something actually that I'm not going to criticize. I'm going to say they did right. So you got a 44-foot yacht here. Why the heck do you need all those beds? I don't understand the fixation on having 8 to 10 people sleep on a platform that's only 44 feet long and isolated on an ocean. I'd lose my mind. I want one other couple, and that's about it. If I have their kids, that's what you use the drop-down table for in the cockpit or in the saloon. Why the heck would you need a separate cabin? You know, I forget who it was. It was either the Winds or one other couple that, the O'Kellys, that were saying, we always dreamed we'd have all these guests on board. Guess what? They didn't. So here you have these bedrooms, all these beds taking up valuable, high-value space for use 5% of the time, maybe, if you're lucky. Why? If you're living aboard, you could use that space for so many other things. And here, Nautitech has done exactly that. You can take one of your forward cabins and turn them into this fantastic utility room. Your washer, dryer, a workbench, storage space, a walk-in closet hanger there. This is what you need. You don't need another bed. So thankfully, we're seeing this pop up more and more. Outremer's got it on their 55, on their 52. Nautitech has it here. Of course, Leopard has it on theirs. And HH has got the option on theirs. So more and more, especially in your performance catamarans, this is what you need. You don't need another bed. Moving back then into the cabin area, we're going, oh, look at that inset leather on that stainless. Nice little touches like that. Looks so good. We're going to head up and across through the massive crowds down into the other hull. The upholstery, the arms on the chairs all look very, very nice. So down we go. Even the stairs look very high quality. We did a little magic there and had a few people disappear on us. And in we go to the owner's suite. So beautiful little settee. I know you probably don't use them that much. I'm older. I like sitting on them to put on my shoes. Limited space up the side. You're going to have to crawl out and disturb your partner, but lots of sunlight, lots of ventilation, nice little settee that even if you don't use it gives a sense of elegance, which I really like. And looking into the head compartment, you can see it's very comfortable, very elegant. Everything is as it should be. You got a dry shower. Look at the hardware on the doors even. Looks real good. Whoop, we made those people disappear. Back we go into the shower. Lots of ventilation on the roof, beautiful sized windows on the sidewalls, and a gorgeous shower with a nice little touch of elegance. That teak floor looks really, really good. Lots of counter space. So the pharmacy can go there for Mrs. Orton. She'd be happy. Nice little things like the inset stainless steel, fit between the door and the floor. Heading up, you've got your escape hatch under the stairs, and we're back to the saloon and the crowds of the show. So back out into the cockpit. Look at those tables, solid teak, nice teak floors. All of the upholstery looks so good. Look at the seat at the helm, looks totally top quality. Lots of width to the sugar scoops, and stepping off, we're going to swing back and have a look at it. She looks really good. You've got those extra little windowlets on the side there that give extra protection to the cockpit. And down the hull, it really looks nice. You get a single spreader mast there. The boom is nice and low on the rooftop, easy to access. Now, if you're enjoying the content here, give a like, hit a subscribe, and share this with a couple other folks that might enjoy it. Thanks very much. Moving to the pre-owned comparables. First one we're going to look at is itself Bavaria Nautitech 46 Fly. Bearing in mind we're using the 50% rule on top of the base for a typical sail away. So we'd end up on the open 44 at 810 USD sail away. Comparing it to a 2018, so that's a 4-year-old boat, Nautitech Fly. Now, a lot of folks don't like the Fly for some reason. I don't mind it. You're looking here at 539 versus the 810 for the new 44. Sorry, you'd have to convince me to go with the new one on that one. Next one, Lagoon 450, 2019, 3 years old. They're asking 549. New Nautitech 810 USD. Yeah, maybe. The Nautitech feels more elegant inside, but wow, that's a big price delta. Heading over to the Leopard 45. This is a 1-year-old boat. They're asking 960. Versus 810, I probably do the open 44. Moving then to a Bali 4.5. This is a 20, so 1-year-old boat. 2-year-old boat, sorry. 550 and 810 for the new Nautitech. The Bali's a nice enough boat. I might swing to the Nautitech just the overall performance, quality, and fit and finish. Last but not least, the Neil 47 2020, so a 2-year-old boat. They're asking $689, $690 versus $810. I'm probably leaning to the Neil. There's a lot of good stuff about it, but the Nautitech has such nice fit and finish and quality, and it's not a bad performer. I'd have to think long and hard about that. Moving to the Dave score, just want to remind you, every week down in the description there is a link to the Dave score for the particular yacht where you can log your score in each of the categories, and I'd love you to do it. I'd love some comments. We'll get a little dialogue going here. On the Dave score, bearing in mind this is from Sylvia's perspective and my perspective for a live aboard, admittedly the Nautitech 44 Open's a little small for what we're looking for, so keep that in mind. We're looking at elegance on the interior. I'd give it an 8. It really was the fit and finish. I especially like their dark woods that they've had. Is very good. Exterior, the elegance, again, they've done a nice job. Both their cockpit, the way they have their custom cushions up front. So I'd give it a solid 7. Comfort in the interior, it gets a 5. The narrow hulls make getting in and out of the bed difficult. The cockpit layout is a little iffy for me. The exterior, I give it a 6 on comfort. There's not a lot extra here other than the custom cushions up front. There's no real forward cockpit or fake forward cockpit or Versa lounge up on the top. So it gets a 6. The quality, 8. It really does feel like a strong boat and a high quality boat. Performance, I'm going to guess this sucker does pretty good. I'll give it a 7. Lazy Sailor, I give it a 7. There's not a lot unique about this, but it does come back to the helms. The Condo, 6. It's too small for a condo. And the Geek, 6. There's nothing really geeky or cool about this. Value for the money, I'm going to give it an overall 7, which takes it to 67 out of 100, putting it slightly ahead of the Neil 47, which actually surprises me, but there you have it. And a tie with the Outremer 51. Now I can just hear the united gasps at that, but bear in mind this is from Sylvia's perspective. We'll leave it at that. I'm sure I'll get a comment or two. Moving to the art of the region, our artist this week is Claude Joseph Vernet, born in 1714 in Avignon, France. So Vernet was born in Avignon when only 14 years of age. He aided his father, Antoine Vernet, a skilled decorative painter, in the most important parts of his work. The panels of sedan chairs, however, could not satisfy his ambition, and Vernet started for Rome. The sight of the whales at Marseilles and his voyage thence to the Papal States main port made a deep impression on him, and immediately after his arrival he entered the studios of whale painter Bernardo Fergioni and marine landscapist Adrian Mangalard. Mangalard and Fergioni initiated Vernet into seascape painting. And what we're looking at here is the Verdun Port du Rochefort. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed the review this week. It was a very interesting boat. If you have any comments, please share them. I do enjoy learning from my audience. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.